I'm Harry Edmondson, and welcome to the News Report. Tonight we explore the economic malaise of Greece, a once powerful ancient empire and 22nd most richest nation in the modern world, economically spiraled into $367 billion worth of debt. How, why, and what can be done to fix it? Jim Greaves from Ancient Athens has more.
Here I am in Athens, the mecca of the world's most powerful empire, as Pericles stated. Future ages will wonder at us, as present ages wonder at us now, as Greece greatly influenced art, architecture, scholarship, and trade. Only expensive interstate wars and divided people have led to the instability of this nation. The Romans have just conquered Greece as a result of poor planning and leadership and financial insecurities. It is the case of history repeats itself from modern Greece today. Back to you, Harry.
On January 1st, 2001, Greece joined the European Union, or the Eurozone, and exchanged the drachma for the euro when it was floated in 2002. The idea of common currency was first proposed at the League of Nations in 1929 by German politician Gustav Stresemann. And as stated by Melissa Gutierrez, European leaders attempted to reconstruct war-torn Europe through economic unity, to ensure such a catastrophe will never occur again. The common currency was further reinforced by British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, stating, "We need a kind of build a United States of Europe." Which is rather hypocritical when you think about it, seeing they are yet to join the Eurozone and yet to contribute anything of real value to the EU, or even recognise themselves in the Euro, unless they are in international need, or Europe is holding a rather nice sporting competition that they're pretty sure they can win. The foundation of the Eurozone was laid in the Multilateral Treaty of Rome in 1957, establishing a European Economic Community. The EU was officially formed on the 7th of February 1992 with 11 founding members, including Germany, France, Spain and Portugal. Greece joined in 2001, passing the Maastricht criteria, which ensured the economic convergence of all joining nations, which Greece definitely passed. The euro is supposed to help Greece catch economic powerhouses such as France and Germany. But according to Michael Portillo, the lower interest rate of the euro at 1.5% in comparison to the drachma at 5.1% has led to a government and citizen borrowing and spending boom. Economist Yason Manolopoulos said, in 2003 alone, car loans went from 0% of GDP to 3.5% in GDP, totaling €9 billion. Will the economic convergence have a positive effect on Greece? Only time will tell.
The political origins of the Greek crisis, domestic failures, and the EU factor created in 2012 by Dimitris Sahouris highly accurately explores the reasons for the Greek economic crisis. Sahouris is born in Turkey and is Professor of European Politics at Bilkent University, providing an expert and geographically neutral perspective on the EU and Greek politics. The journal identifies external factors such as the global financial crisis of 2008 catalyzing the economic downturn in Greece, the financial collapse set the Eurozone downturn in motion, which reflects statistical data by the IMF revealing a 5% decrease in domestic growth between 2007 and the final quarter of 2008. The source investigates Greece's political climate and its fluctuating impact on its economy, the nature in which Greece has joined the EMU and its arguably negative impact on the Greek economy. Sahouris' argument on the negative impact of the Eurozone, despite initial positive impacts, correlates with Melissa Gutierrez' article Flying Too Close to the Sun, stating, Greece seemed to benefit greatly from joining the Eurozone because it could obtain credit at lower interest rates. This benefit, however, was the beginning of its downfall. Due to the source's primary nature created in the midst of the crisis and the Greek economic crisis's continual development, statistical data focusing on the issue within the source, such as Greece's debt to ratio goal of 120% by 2020 are now set at 130% by 2020, according to the IMF. However, the sources primarily focus on the history preceding the malaise, minimises the impact of the ongoing nature of the event.
Greece today is awash with debt, social unrest and austerity measures. With retail businesses halved, unemployment at an historical 25.4%, youth unemployment at 50%, and an estimated 210,000 citizens fleeing the economic trap. What do the streets of Greece look like today? Here's our Greek correspondent, Michael Portillo, to provide insight into modern-day Greek society.
It's only when you take a walk through the streets of Athens that you get a sense of the situation that this country's in. I can't believe that I'm in Europe in 2012. It's hard to imagine how such a small nation of 11 million people could have accumulated a national debt equivalent to 31,000 euros per man, woman and child. Athens wears the face of recession. Here's a shopping complex with every business closed bar one, which is selling its goods at a 50% discount. Graffiti is universal. Here a bank has been burnt out. Everywhere are signs of dereliction. A quarter of the shops have closed since Greece's crisis first took hold 4 years ago. And sights like this have become commonplace. Here at this one location, 800 people queue each afternoon for their daily rations. This queue is for migrants who were the first to suffer from the crisis. 30 yards away, I see preparations for further handouts, this time for Greek people. This is a new phenomenon in a country where family support is normally so strong.
Greece has received three €110 billion bailout packages between 2010 and 2014 from the EU to pay creditors and stabilise the nation. Despite this, GDP is down at 25.4% since 2008, and Greece currently sits 98% above the Eurozone debt average. What can be done to heal this flailing economy? Here's Joe Football with the financial report to tell us. In order for Greece to amend their economic malaise, firstly, as economist Melissa Gutierrez recommends, the Grexit, or Greece's exit from the European Monetary Union and reflotation of the drachma, should be undertaken for the benefit of Greece and other EU members such as France, who had their AAA credit rating downgraded as a result of bailout packages. This outcome is further reinforced by former British Treasurer Michael Portillo. I believe this crisis is down to Greece joining the EU and leaving behind the free-floating drachma. Although EMU provides numerous benefits such as lowest interest rates, with current ECB at 0.5% in comparison to the drachma at 5.1% in December 2000, greater price transparency between nations and economic unity seen in the European Union's commitment to support Greece and will work hand in hand with the Greek government to make the most of EU funding as stated by the Commissioner Cretu of the ECB. I believe the Greek government should oversee a similar economic rebuild to post-World War II Germany, with the elimination of price controls, increasing the retirement age, a loan scheme of state assets, and reconstruction of the fiscal system. Greece's current retirement age of 57, the second lowest in the world, should be increased to 63 in order to ease financial pressure on the state by lessening the population of pensioners to enable the repayment of international loans. Control and government taxes reduce the profit for manufacturers and put needed goods and services further out of the struggling Greek citizens' hands. Price controls and government-enforced taxes impact the Greek tourism industry, manufacturing, but is exemplified in the nation's pharmaceutical industry, with a 35% government taxation placed on pharmaceutical goods, restricting public access to the medicine and narrowing markets for producers. Such things must be laxed or abolished in order to encourage economic prosperity. Controversially, according to Chief Executive Bouchouris, Greece should look to privatise public assets such as energy through a loan scheme in order to produce an estimated €125 million, and Prime Minister Tsipras indicates the possibility of such a method to increase government revenue. The most pivotal element needing reconstruction is the Greek taxation system. The current taxation system, according to Dimitris Sahouris, only applies to public sector workers such as doctors, teachers, nurses and government officials, placing the economic burden of the country on a minority. Taxation brackets should be lowered and made universal for all workers within Greece. Here is a basic income taxation system for Greece I have formulated myself based on the average Greek wage and modelled on the Australian superior tax system. These methods are proven throughout history by post-World War II Germany. However, the success of such method depends on the resolution of Greece's €367 billion owed to private investors and EU members, as the IMF and EU, as of June 12th, have ceased bailout talks, placing further onus on Greece to reform its dire economy. That finalises our presentation tonight on the Greek economic crisis. I'm Harry Edmondson. This is the News Report. Good night.